What are cannabinoids? Hey everybody, I'm Jason with Curious About Cannabis. Thanks so much for joining us again for a quick question. Today I want to talk about cannabinoids. What are cannabinoids? In one of our previous videos, we talked about cannabis resins, and we talked about how some of the primary chemical constituents of those resins are cannabinoids and terpenoids. But what are cannabinoids? Now, before we get started, please make sure to subscribe, click the bell icon so you get notified of future videos, and consider sharing this video with friends and family if you like it. So let's get to it. So what are cannabinoids? Cannabinoids are these interesting compounds that at least once upon a time ago we thought were entirely unique to cannabis that include things like THC, CBD, and a lot of other similar compounds you might have heard of before. In case you're not familiar with these compounds, THC is the main chemical in cannabis that is associated with the high that people experience from cannabis. CBD is the molecule that is all the rage in the hemp market lately, although that popularity has been declining a little bit. But you've probably seen all of these hemp balms and lotions and infused pillows. Yes, I'm serious, there are cannabis-infused pillows out there, all revolving around this compound called CBD. Well, the cannabis plant in its resins generally will produce one of a few dominant chemicals in that resin. And usually it's either a compound called THCA or CBDA or CBGA. The cannabis produces these chemicals in their acid forms. And then when they get heated, for instance, when you're smoking, these molecules change. Basically, a carbon dioxide molecule breaks off of these acid cannabinoids and leave behind the more well-known quote-unquote neutral cannabinoids like THC, CBD, and CBG. But it's important to note that the cannabis plant does not actually produce THC, CBD, or CBG, at least not in any sort of biosynthetic manner. But these cannabinoids exhibit all sorts of different effects in the human body as well as in all sorts of non-human animals. And this all relates to the fact that these compounds interact with a system in our bodies called the endocannabinoidome. And I'll be making another video to talk about the endocannabinoidome as well as its related kind of smaller system called the endocannabinoid system in other videos that you can check out soon. At one point, researchers thought that these cannabinoids were unique to cannabis, but that perception is changing as we start to apply the lens of cannabis science to other plants and even fungi. It's been found that there are plants and fungi that produce compounds that are very similar to the cannabinoids that cannabis produces. And scientists are trying to wrestle with this and understand how we should be thinking about this class of compounds going forward. The cannabis plant produces, as far as we know, over 150 different cannabinoids. And then when you smoke cannabis, those cannabinoids transform and produce all sorts of other unique compounds and unique cannabinoids that are not found in the plant as well. This is one reason why it's important to not always totally rely on a test result for a cannabis product to understand its chemistry, because if you're smoking that product or applying heat or doing anything else with it, you're actually chemically transforming it. What's actually going into your body and affecting you is not really related very much to the chemical data that may be on a test report or a certificate of analysis for any cannabis product that you have. So what are cannabinoids? Cannabinoids are this interesting class of chemical compounds that, as far as we know, cannabis produces over 150 of them, THCA, CBDA, and CBGA being some of those. We talked about how the cannabis plant does not actually produce THC, CBD, and CBG. It produces THCA, CBDA, CBGA, and then when those things go under heat, they transform or degrade into THC, CBD, CBG, etc. So this has been a very short intro to cannabinoids. I hope you found it interesting. If you want to learn more about cannabinoids, we have a whole course on the Curious About Cannabis platform that you can access for free. Just go to learn.cacpodcast.com. If you want to learn more about some of the constituents of cannabis resins beyond cannabinoids, we've got another video on terpenoids that I recommend you check out, as well as a host of other videos that will provide you these short, quick downloads on all sorts of cannabis science topics. And with that, I'm Jason Wilson with Curious About Cannabis. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and consider sharing this video with your friends and family and show them how much of a nerd you are when it comes to cannabis science. And with that, everybody, I'll catch you next time. Stay curious and take it easy. Bye-bye. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get notified of more videos, and go ahead and check out another video while you're at it.